Dragon-type Pokemon in the Pokemon TCG are super cool, but the only one that really sees play right now is Giratina VSTAR because it does a lot of damage and it can take knockouts for free. There is another Dragon-type Pokemon from Lost Origin that actually used to see a lot of play, and that is Hisuian Goodra VSTAR. But now, it's not as good because you have a lot of decks that can one-shot, like Giratina VSTAR, or PAL, or even Gardevoir EX. But where this Goodra VSTAR deck shines is with the very much underused card, Crushing Hammers. What is going on, everybody? Hitmonchan here back again with another Pokemon trading card game online deck tech, and we are here on PTCG Live taking a look at the brand new version of Goodra VSTAR, which is Goo Hammers. But before we get into the list, I want to say thank you so much to the sponsor of the channel, PTCG LStore. If you need codes, you know where to go. Head on over to ptcgostore.com and use code HITMON for 5% off your order. You get a good product for a good price, and you help the channel out a lot, so I greatly appreciate it. And now, we're going to get into the list. Now, you might be thinking, why play Goodra VSTAR? Well, Goodra VSTAR is really good right now, in my opinion, because yes, you do have a lot of one-shot decks, but this deck can abuse, judge, and path to the peak, which is very disruptive to a lot of those one-shot decks. It can negate the damage of smaller hitting decks like Lost Box or even Gardevoir in the early game, and Goodra just does a solid amount of damage itself. It does 200 damage with that Rolling Iron attack, and it's super tanky because it has that 80 less damage once you use Rolling Iron, effectively putting it at 350 HP, which is tough for a lot of the decks to deal with that aren't built around one-shots, especially when you're using Judge Path every single turn. Now, we're rocking a 4-3 line of Arceus V and VSTAR. I know, it's Arceus, but trust me, this deck has a lot more than meets the eye than just a boring Arceus deck. We are playing, of course, a 3-2 line of Hisuian Goodra VSTAR, as well as a 1-1 line of Bibarel and 1 Spiritomb. But the real sauce of the deck comes with what combos so well with Goodra. Well, you have Crushing Hammers. We play 4 Crushing Hammers, and if you've never seen this card before, I don't blame you, because not a lot of decks play it, but it is kind of a staple in the Pokemon TCG ever since the Black and White era. The card reads, it's very simple. Flip a coin. If heads, discard an energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon. Now, this is very strong in decks that manage the resources very, very tightly, like decks like Giratina, like decks like, what's it called? Miraidon. It's tough to manage your resources sometimes, knowing where your energies are, especially because Raichu is the only thing that can one-shot Goodra, and it only has 200 HP, so you can very easily one-hit KO it. Even Rapid Strike manages its energies very, very carefully, and there's just a lot of decks right now, even like Lugia, for example, where you can use Crushing Hammer, you can get rid of their gift energy, judge, path, put them in a really bad spot once you take a KO. So Crushing Hammers, I think, are really powerful right now in the format. We do play 4 of them, and we also play 2 Box of Disaster in this deck to help us deal with Gardevoir, because hey, if you want to take a one-hit KO on us, you're going to be getting hit back super hard with that Box of Disaster, knocking you out in return. And it's also very good against Giratina VSTAR, because if they one-hit KO you with Lost Impact and Box of Disaster goes off, it puts them to 200 HP, and then you can take them out with your next Goodra VSTAR. We also have 1 Choice Belt in here to help take some pesky Pokemon V off the board early, 4 Ultra Ball, 4 Nest Ball, 3 Path to the Peak, as well as 1 Switch, 1 Escape Rope. And in terms of our supporters, we got 4 Iono, 1 Judge, 3 Research, 3 Boss, and 1 Raihan to help us in the late game. In terms of energy, all pretty simple. 3 Water, 3 Metal, 4 Double Turbo, and 3 V-Guard. V-Guard is super clutch in not getting one-shot by Giratina, so you can consistently reduce damage and do a bunch of damage over the course of a couple turns. And yeah, the list is actually pretty simple. Like, there's not much that goes on, but I can assure you, Hisuian Goodra VSTAR is a force to be reckoned with right now in the format. It's really good against a lot of decks, even like Mew. You can just hammer away all their fusion energies and then knock out their active, and they can't do anything the rest of the game. There's a lot to like about Hisuian Goodra VSTAR, and I'm going to prove it to you. We're going to hop into some games, we're going to get some dubs right here and right now. We get to call a coin flip. Tails never fails, that is what I always say, and it's going to flip tails, so we're absolutely going to choose to go first here. We always want to go first with Arceus VSTAR variants, and we're going to hopefully just get a decent... This is okay. Could have been better, could have been worse. If we have another basic search, this will be a lot better, I will say, but we do need quite a bit in order to get things rolling. Rolling iron, if you will. I have considered putting some Melanies in this deck just so you can consistently get Goodras up, but I think that if you're going to play Melanie, you got to play a different version. You don't have enough room for the hammers. So we're playing against PAL, which could be a tricky matchup. We also get Raihan. which is okay. We want to grab Arceus for sure, attach to the Arceus, and drop the path right away, and we're going to end the turn. This is a bit rough. This is very dependent on what our top deck is here. They're going to drop their Frigibax, which is a-okay. They have an Irida. We just don't want them to get their energies in their hand. We don't want them to be able to take a big knockout on us. They're getting Frigibax plus VIP, which is going to net them a Radiant Greninja and probably a Bidoof, would be my guess. Which is okay. We kind of just want to be able to take knockouts and disrupt them as much as we can. The thing is about our plan against Chen Pao is that they don't mind having their energies in the discard because they just use Retrieval to get them back. So hopefully we're able to disrupt them a little bit here. We get another Path to the Peak, which is not what we want. So we're going to boss up their Bidoof and pass from there. Starting both boss in our hand, also not ideal. But we'll have to see. Kind of just depends what they draw. They're drawing a Pokestop, which could be good for us, could also be very deadly. So they can Pokestop away a lot of their resources, which is really, really good. They don't have another energy in hand, it looks like. They were not able to Shivery Chill. That might be it for them this turn. Maybe Pokestop could save us. They're going to Superior Energy Retrieval for a single card. And they're going to Concealed Cards that away. Now, personally, I wouldn't have done that. I would have attached Retreated and then gone into Shivery Chill first. But you never know. They're going to Shivery Chill right now. They have a bunch of energy in their hand. Good thing for us, we have another boss to stall for an additional turn, so we might be okay. And Path to the Peak could work out for us here. So we kind of want to boss up one of the Frigibax now, because we want to... okay, we get double turbo here. Okay, we're going to rip this Pokestop. Hopefully we get an Ultra Ball. We don't get anything good. Get the double turbo, which is fine. And now we're going to Path. And now we want to boss up. Actually, we might still want to boss up the Bidoof. Yeah, we still want this Bidoof in the active. We're going to pass. Now, yeah, because now if they find their Bax Caliber, it doesn't matter. They should only have one energy in hand still. So we might be okay. There's a Heavy Ball, not going to do anything. If it's Luminion, that's fine. We have Path in play. So not bad. This is like Draw Pass Simulator, but you got to be ready for that. And that happens sometimes. So we're going to see. They might just end up passing here. I would not be surprised if they did. Path is a super disruptive card. They have another energy, so they can retreat into their Chen Pao, but they might just leave it at that. Hopefully they don't have a bump. Yeah, okay, they're going to leave it at that, hoping to take a KO on our Bidoof this next turn. We get a Metal Energy, which is fine, because what we can do is we'll retreat our Bidoof into Arceus. It can't get Radiant Greninja because of its Carefree Counterance. And we're going to Power Edge. Now, if we can hopefully limit them from getting a Bax Caliber up, we should be in a decent enough spot to KO this Chen Pao. With our lone Arceus V, they get Pokestop, which is not good, but I hope that they Pokestop away like all three Bax Caliber. That's what I hope. That's my hope right here. They have the concealed cards. Don't like that. They're going to Pokestop. They get a Cross Switcher. They get rid of an Irida and a Bibarel, which is really good. Maybe they don't have it. They got Mew. Maybe they don't have it. They got an Energy. Maybe they don't have it. They got Iono. Maybe they don't have it. I mean, at least we get a new hand. Come on. Ultra Ball. I'm nervous. I won't lie, I'm nervous. Getting rid of Bidoof. Maybe they're grabbing the Bibarel. They're grabbing the Bibarel. Going out on a dream probably here. Here's the Bibarel. They need 2 cards from that Bibarel. It's gotta be like Rare Candy or Bax probably, right? They probably only have one. They have the Rare Candy Bax. But they might not have enough energy to actually KO Arceus here. That's actually, I didn't consider that. We might be okay. As long as their last card in their hand isn't a Retrieval plus 2 cards they can ditch. We might be okay here. They might not even Hellblade. You know what they might do? They might actually retreat into something else, like into a Mew to try and prepare. Yeah, that does not surprise me actually. They want to save their Chen Pao. And now they can Mew here depending on what they get. I do want to try and find a boss. We have Ultra Ball, so we can get a boss's orders. And Path would obviously also be ideal. We could grab Boss and Path. They're going to grab Retrieval. Okay, they already retreated, so they can't switch unless they have a switching card. So we might be fine here for a turn. We do get Bibarel, so we also have draw power, which I'm happy about. Okay. This is the scary thing now. Drop Bibarel, that's fine. I want to Nest Ball and grab Goodra for sure. I want a V-Guard. Don't want to Iono particularly. Definitely going to get rid of these lads. Grab an Arc V-Star, and we're going to Bibarel first. I want to find Boss and Path, if possible. Box of Disaster is really good. We can throw that on the Goodra. That's really good for this matchup. Now we'll Starbirth. I hope we have our other boss. We do, and we have our other Path. We do. So we can Boss and Path them. We can boss up the backs, Path them, require them to have that much more in order to KO our Arceus. So we'll drop that Path, we'll boss up the backs, and then we'll KO it with Trinity Nova. Okay, I'm liking where we are. We have Goodra in hand. We're gonna be A-okay to go here with Goodra. Has Box of Disaster on it, so if they one-shot it with this Chien-Pao, unfortunately they're not gonna get knocked out right away. It just makes, obviously, it puts them in one-shot range for us. That's the intention. They're down 2 Pokestops, I believe. 2 Pokestops are down. They're down to backs. They're down to Irida. They have the Irida in hand. Okay. We also know that they have the Superior Energy Retrieval in hand, which is actually really scary. So they have kind of everything they need to counter our play. We probably should have judged them because we knew they had the Retrieval. That's my mistake. But it wouldn't have mattered because they still had a backs online. So they can Retrieval here. They can get 4 energy. They need 5 in order to KO us. So they need to just find 1 off the Bibarel. That's 6 energies accounted for. The chance of that happening is high enough. But then we have Goodra to return. So Goodra can actually return KO them. They can't boss the Goodra. We can return KO them here. And we might be okay. There's 4. They have 6 energies in hand. Wow. Or 5 energies, my bad. They have 5 energies in hand. Interesting. We might be in a decent spot here, though. Unfortunately, we had to start with both our bosses, like 2 of our 3 bosses in our hand, or else I would actually be more confident in this. But, okay. They're going to vacuum away the Path as well. Or maybe they're vacuuming away the box. I hope they don't vacuum the box. That's unfortunate. We do have another box in deck, though. Oops, there's a Pokestop from them. Yeah, we do have another box in deck. So we should be fine. I did see it. So we can Raihan for it. If we really, really want to. There is a metal discard. Yeah, the ideal play here would be if we got a Goodra V on the bench. We have 1 Goodra V left in deck. We got a Goodra V, we Raihan to it, attached, found our box, and then we Goodra. That would be the ideal play. But we'll see. They're going to Hellblade for the knockout here. We could also go for a Judge. Judge is always a decent shot. Doesn't hurt to go for a Judge play here. I don't mind that at all. I do really want to guarantee the Box of Disaster, though. That's my thing. We do get the Goodra, so we're absolutely going for that Box of Disaster attempt. We're going to Raihan the Metal to the Goodra. We want this Box of Disaster. Absolutely, we want that Box of Disaster. Do this, and we even get to Industrious Incisors for a couple of cards, which is nice. We get Goodra, which is good. Escape Rope Switch, perfect. Okay, we're going to Rolling Iron them here. Into 200, we get to take the KO. And now, we got to pull an energy off of the prizes. Any energy works. We should have still, 2 of our V-Guards, 2 of our Double Turbos in deck. So this is fine. I'm not, super upset about this. They have a big hand, which means if they KO our Goodra here, we're Ionoing them to 2, putting Goodra VSTAR, down. Hopefully we find that energy, which we should, fingers crossed, because of Bibarel, and we should be okay for that. They're gonna Rod back, I'm guessing Chien-Pao and some energies. I don't know if they put the Chien-Pao back, but I know they put some energies back, because they can Ultra Ball here. They have their Chien-Pao. And they are down 2 Retrievals, if I'm not mistaken. Yes. So things could be a bit tough. I won't lie. Things could be a bit rough and tough around here. They have 8 cards left in deck. They're going to grab another Chen PAL. They need to attach a bunch of energies to it. If they spend, like, if they really go fast with all their resources here, and we're able to Iono them to 2 and pull off of, like, a, what's it called, a big comeback here, we might be okay. This might not be the worst scenario to be in. Another thing that we could expect to happen is a cross-switcher play. They could cross-switcher this Goodra on the bench, knock it out, and then they go to 2 prizes remaining. And the scary thing about that is, like, we have to put them in a position where they're just unable to attack for a turn, for 1 turn, and then if they knock us out, they get Box of Disaster to sudden death kind of thing. So right now they do need 6 energies to KO us, so it is quite a bit. They've gotten 4 back, they're 4 down, they get a VIP pass, and they discard Chen PAL and Frigibax. That's really good for us. Them discarding those, they have Irida, that's fine. They can grab themselves another like cross-switcher piece, which is probably what they're looking for, or their other retrieval for the following turn. So could be very interesting here. Like, yeah, could be a super interesting. They've played one, they have 1 retrieval left. They got backs and cross-switcher, so they're definitely going for a cross-switcher play on our Goodra. Oh, they have the other retrieval, so they're getting their other retrieval down. Okay, so they're getting all their energies back. Probably going to throw them all into play, I'm guessing. They have 0 energies in the discard. They're going to attach to Mew, that's fine. They're going to put a bunch. They need 6, though, to KO us. They're down every retrieval. Keep that in mind. They're down every retrieval. So we might be okay here. They're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Probably they're down 2 more Chen PALs, so they only have this 1 to be able to attack us with. There's 6. They have the KO on Goodra. That's fine. That's completely okay that they have the KO on the Goodra. I just want to see them take the KO on this Goodra. I don't want to get excited just yet. I'm like, this is very, very much suspenseful. This is super suspenseful right here. Because they get rid of all these energies and they're done all of their retrievals. Okay, they're going to Hellblade us. They're done all of their retrievals. Theoretically, it does not matter at all. They get Box of Disaster, that's fine. In theory, we literally just need to knock out this Chen PAL and win, right? Just gotta find our energy, we're good to go. So I might not even go through the trouble of going for the Iono play. Okay, we get V-Guard anyways, so that's good. We get V-Guard, get Goodra. I kind of like the hand. I won't lie to you, I kind of like the hand, because what it lets us do is, if they play, I don't know, something else, we just should be fine here. Unless they have, they can't have any combination of cards that makes our Goodra get knocked out, right? I don't think they can. They can play, let's think about this. There's our Choice Belt. Let's think about this. They have a bunch of energies down. They should have some in hand, that's fine. They're going up with backs, okay, sure. They are down a Rod, 7 energies, 3 Chen PALs. How are they going to get enough energy to pivot whatever Pokemon they were trying to, so backs in this case, and get another Chen PAL in play? They can't. They can attach these energies to the backs, they can attack with it, that's fine, but it's not going to do anything because we just take the final KO and win the game. Their Pokestops, they flew a little too close to the sun with them. They're going to Avery, okay, sure, draw the rest of your deck, my friend, that's fine. Yeah, and then they're going to concede. I figured. Okay, I was a little skeptical, but we were able to pull it off. Box of Disaster was the MVP there. And Path. Path was also an MVP in that game. And Goodra is just Goodra. It's just good. I don't know what to tell you. We get to call a coin flip. Tails never fails, as I always say. And we're going to flip that coin. It's going to be heads, which is going to kind of suck. And our opponent gets to decide who is going to go first. So now we just got to kind of wait and see, feel it out a little bit, and hopefully we just get a decent start. Can't ask for too much. They're going to go first. So I kind of just want my Arceus, Energy, and Goodra. We're almost there. We're almost there. I can get Arceus down. Yeah, we have Judge. So Judge could help us out somewhat against the Lost Zone deck. So hopefully it's Giratina, because we do tend to have an easier time against them, because we can just coin flip Central on the Crushing Hammers and just get rid of all their energies. So we'll see. We will take a look and see for sure. They're going to get rid of a Sableye off the top, which is good because we don't want Sableye to hit our Goodras, and it is Giratina. Should be okay. They're going to attach to Tina. Probably a pass? If that's all they have? Okay. We could actually be in a good spot by hitting the Judge right here. And we got to hit this Hammerheads as well, because if we don't hit this Hammerheads, I'm going to be sad. That makes me sad. We'll Nest Ball here. We'll get Art down for sure, and we'll attach the V-Guard to it. We did prize a Goodra VSTAR, or Goodra V, which isn't great, but I do hope a Judge here could help us out. Wow, that's a hand and a half. How do we judge ourselves back into the same 2 energy we judged away? I just want to know. I just want to talk. I just want to know how we judged ourselves back into those energies. I hope they have to play Iono. Please. Thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you. That was rough. That was really rough. Not much better of a hand, but Escape Rope at least can propel that Arceus into the active. So they're going to use the Nest Ball, probably grab a second Comfy here. That way if they get a Jet Energy off of the Flower Selecting, they can just use it immediately. I could see a Radiant Greninja coming down as well. But the thing about this matchup is we don't have path access really. If they path us, we're just kind of screwed. What did they get rid of? Did they get rid of a Jet Energy? No, Psychic. But yeah, this is the thing. We want to manage their resources very effectively. What I mean by that is we want to Crushing Hammer the optimal cards. We want to kind of just play a resource game. They got rid of a Jet Energy, which is good for us. They might not have a switch into that Giratina to use Abyss Seeking, but this is okay. I'm actually kind of content with how this turn went. Double Turbo off the top, also really good. So we'll go into get a second Goodra. Don't want to play Path. We're going to Escape Rope first. I'm guessing they throw up the other Comfy. There's no reason for them not to. And then we get Arceus, and we Iono them once more. They only have 3 in the Lost Zone, so does the constant hand disruption could just be enough for us. We don't actually get the... wow, this is really bad. We don't even get the Arc V-Star. So, do I just want a Trinity Charge here? I guess so. And just get Goodra ready. Yeah, that sucks. I won't lie. That is a bit unfortunate. Because now we're in a situation where we got 2 medals in hand, and we're going to have to discard them off of research. But hopefully getting 2 Goodras up, we can get our Box of Disaster. If we can just continue to disrupt their hand over and over and over and over, we might be fine. They got rid of an Escape Rope, which is actually solid. We don't want to get roped here. They do have a Chorus. So we would have liked to have an Iono at this point in time. But yeah, we're at a little bit of a tough spot. We're getting some awkward draws. They got 10 big cards in their hand. I don't like to see that. That personally doesn't make me feel very happy and joyous inside. The saving grace right here would actually be an Arceus V-Star off the top. They might be down a bunch of switching cards. I mean, they are down a couple energies. There's a Rope. Rope is not good, but I'm going to go into Bidoof. Bidoof, I think, is always the natural choice here, just because I know they got rid of their Cram, so they played Chorus. If they were to be able to get Tina V-Star online, they're likely not going to want to waste it on a Bidoof, so that kind of just buys us a turn, like, you know, psychologically, right? They're down 2 Psychics in the Lost Zone, as well as 1 Water, 1 Grass on the board. Could be somewhat in a decent spot. What I would like to do here is I'd like to get Arceus V-Star right off the top of our deck and just boss belt kablamo onto that Giratina V. That's what I would like to do personally. They're gonna drop a Path though, so that's not gonna happen anymore. So now I don't want an Arceus V-Star. They're gonna attach to Comfy, and I'm guessing they're going into Tina to start Abyss Seeking. Oh no, they're actually going to this Comfy. I don't know. I personally would have started Abyss Seeking here. I guess you're already at 7 in the Lost Zone, so it doesn't really matter too much. But yeah, like I said, they're down 2 waters, they're down 2 psychics, and they have a grass on board. So if we can manage their psychic energies, I think that's going to be the ones we're going to try and disrupt the most. There's a Tina V-STAR. Do they have the Tina V-STAR? They have the gate. See, if they have another escape rope here, then I'm going to be really sad. But I think they've played 2. So the chances of that aren't super high. They have a Tina V-STAR. Okay, and they're good. Now, we get Switch, which is solid. Put this on the Goodra. Go like this. Yeah, now, do I want to boss and smack that Tina? They only have 8 in the loss zone, so they need a Colress in order to take it out. Now, I need the Box of Disaster before I target the Tina down. That's the thing. So maybe... Yeah, maybe we just switch it to the Arceus. And then we just research here. Yeah, we got the Hammer 2. Yeah, I think that's the goal. Because we want to force them to go... And that Hammerheads is perfect because we can actually hit this Psychic Energy as well. We want to force them. We can get rid of this double turbo. We want to force them to Star Requiem our Arceus. If we can do that, we can be in a really good position. Because the V-Guard forces them to hit Star Requiem or find Belt, or they don't KO the Arceus. So we can be in a good spot right here. We have double Goodra basically online, playing the game of chicken almost. We gotta wait and see who is going to come out on top. We get Iono, which is really solid if they're gonna knock out this Arceus. So yeah, so here, they do need to find a lot more. I mean, they're down 2 water and a Psychic. They have Psychic, 2 Psychics in the loss zone. Here's a Mirage Gate. They only have 1 Psychic left if this is a typical Tina list, of course. Because typical Tina list, 1/4/4, 2 or 3 water depending, and then the rest are, what was I gonna say? The rest are Jet Energy. So here they're in a good spot. We might force them to start Requiem us. No boss's orders in sight. I love to see that personally. And we have double Goodra on the bench, going to be ready, set to go. So this could be okay. We could be in a solid spot here. Haven't seen a Vacuum come out though. And some Tina lists playing Vacuum is scary for us because we don't want them to vacuum away our Boxes of Disaster. Theoretically, we want them to come up here, take a KO on our Arceus with, with Star Requiem. Then we lead our Goodra, and from there we go for Iono. They're going to Mirage Gate once more. That's 3 gates down, I think. And they actually kind of, I think they just whiff it, right? Yeah, 3 gates down, they just whiff it. Water Energy on the Comfy. We should be fine here. We should be fine. I'm not super worried. They could Lost Impact us here. I don't see why they would, though. They don't want to... Oh, they're Lost Impacting. Yeah, they're toast. They're absolutely toast. Granted, they could finish us off with Sableye. They could get rid of these 2 Grass Energies here, finish us off with Sableye later. Possibility. But they're going to get rid of those double Grass. Okay. That's fine. I don't even know if I want to Iono them, to be honest. But I kind of do. I kind of want to find... I want to find those boxes. So we're going to Iono here. I want to find those boxes. I want more hammers. Never enough hammers when you're fighting against Tina. Found a box. So I'm going to throw this on the Goodra. I mean, this Goodra. If they're going to boss one up, it's more likely to be that. Don't really need to Nest Ball. We're just going to True Nova here. And we take no knockout, but we do 180. That's fine. Because here now we force them to find an energy to Requiem, and then we just go up with Goodra. We take the knockout. They can knock us out with this Tina, or they can't even knock us out with the Tina, so Box doesn't do anything. Then we hit into it, and we win. That's kind of the game plan. They're going to go for another Colress here, constantly monitoring their resources. They've ditched a Switch Cart and a Nest Ball, so they actually had a really good Colress. They're down 5. They're on a bunch of energy. Sableye. So Sableye can finish our Arceus off. It's a Super Rod, but they only have 1 gate left. That's the key. So they can put those energies back. And they can go for their last gate if they're able to find it. If not, I'm a happy guy. They've put back... They only had Psychics to put... Psychic and Water to put back. So they've Star Requiem'd a bunch left. There's their last gate. So they can get a Psychic and a Water. So they can get Sableye down. Or this Tina. But they need to find a way to retreat. Switch cards. They're going to rope 2 carts. and they're also down another rope in the discard. So they're going to power up that Tina and get the Sableye online. There's a rope, and now off the rope, do I even bother with the Bidoof, or do I just go into Goodra? I think I just go into Goodra, because it's almost like expected for this Bidoof to get knocked out. So I don't even, like, I don't want to, I don't know. I don't, like, it doesn't really matter. We know what's getting knocked out here. It's not a surprise to anybody. We just go into an attacker, and then we just think, well, which attacker am I going to want to attack with? I'm not going to want to attack with the box one. I want to attack with this one first. Yeah, so they take out the Arc, they take out our Bidoof, they take 3 prizes, we force them to take 2 Goodras down. They're down a bunch of ropes as well. That's 1 and I think 3 ropes total. So that's good. This makes sense, yeah. This is like exactly what I figured here. We do want to find our other Iono though. We do have 1 Iono left, or 2 Ionos left actually, I think. So it's not impossible to find. I want to put them down to a 3-card hand. Get research. I'm also fine with research. That also works for me. We can Ultra Ball a bunch of these cards away. We don't need Path. We can grab Bibarel would have been nice. But we don't need Bibarel anymore. And I'm just gonna save these for now. I don't think we need Raihan, but we might. So we're gonna Rolling Iron here. Take the KO on the Sableye. And we get a single prize card. So now things are gonna be tough. Double Turbo's fine. We can get rid of that. Now, they've got 1, 2, all 4 Psychic Energies technically accounted for. They need to Rod that back and manually attach it to this Giratina. That's the key here. So, they're going to Rod back probably just the Psychic. I don't see why, or they could get Sableye back as well. But Sableye is not going to help you here. So, they got back, oh, they did get Sableye, Water, and Psychic. Okay, so they're going to Chorus. That makes sense. They do need to find, they're really low on switching options. It can't be Jet, it specifically needs to be a switching card. They're down 3 ropes, 3 carts. If that makes sense? 3 ropes, 2 carts. So they should have it in theory. They're going to attach this Tina. They have not started Requiem yet. But if they go onto that Tina and they start Requiem, we just knock it out. And Bob is your uncle. We have Boss, so we can take a Boss KO. There's the switch cart into that Tina, which is fine. They can't knock us out with Lost Impact, so they gotta start Requiem, which is good. We're lone Goodra now, but this is what's gonna be the challenge, is if they have the resources to do 2 Lost Impacts here. That's the key. I don't know if they do. Get V-Guard, which is also really, really good for us. We can attach that here. Now we can also Raihan. And in the Raihan, try and grab a hammer. I think that's probably what I want to do. Raihan, sure, you can have a Metal Energy, Goodra, why not? I think we grab a hammer, or we could grab Iono for next turn, Iono them to 1. That's also a possibility. I think I might rather do that, because if we can Iono them to 1, the chances of them recovering are like absolutely minuscule 0. So there's no way, yeah, they Requiem, can't take a knockout on us this turn. So we can Rolling Iron them. Goodbye, Giratina V-Star. And we get to take 2 prize cards. I do believe we prized a hammer, if I'm correct. Oh, I should have got that hammer, man. Yeah, I think we did prize a hammer. I think we only have 1 left in deck. So, going 1 prize remaining on them, 2 for us. Can they Lost Impact twice in a row, or Lost Impact plus Sableye after we Iono them to 1? That's the key here. They have the energy. You got that Lost Impact, bro. All yours. Go for it. Snorlax not going to do anything. Yeah, I'm sure that they've played all gates. Yeah. That's the key. Unless they play something wacky like Silene, and they Silene a gate back on top, and then just Mirage Gate and win the game somehow. I don't know. And there's the Lost Impact for 170. Okay. Yeah, because we are reducing by 110 right now, which is really good. So they got to put 2 energies in the Lost Zone. Keeping that Psychic. So I don't know if it's possible for them to win here, especially if I say you're Iono'd to 1 card in hand. And if we get a hammer off the top, we're going to be in a really good spot. We do get the hammer. So we can hammer. Hopefully we hit heads. If we hit heads, I think we just win the game. Yeah, okay, so we hit heads. I think they're kind of completely out of resources now. which is how you have to do this. Then we rolling iron them. They can do whatever they want. They can switch, pivot, blah, 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 whatever. They're at 1 card. I think we just rolling iron again and we win the game. That should be how this goes. I don't see them attacking with anything else in his 2-card hand specifically. They are down all of their Chorus. Yeah, there's the concede. We did it. We took down Giratina VSTAR with the power of Arc, Goop, and Hammers. I think actually we played that game really well. I really like this deck. I'm going to talk about it in just a second. What do you think of this Arceus VSTAR, Goodra VSTAR, Crushing Hammers deck? I love this deck so much. I think this is a really fun deck to pilot and play because, as I was saying, I was going to talk about this deck. This deck is kind of control-y in a sense, depending on what matchup you're playing against. You want to be able to hammer away the correct energies at the correct time and hit them with an Iono path, and just stop their, completely stop their, their roll, completely stop their momentum, and then hit them with the Goodra, and you should be okay to win basically any matchup. I really do enjoy this deck. I think this deck is a lot of fun. It does kind of struggle though. Against decks like Giratina, it can be really hard. Even Gardevoir, I think, is this deck's hardest matchup by far, but it's not impossible. No matchup with this deck is impossible. If you hit the right Iono path or Judge path, you're fine. You're all good to go. If I were to change anything in this deck, I kind of want more, I almost want a Rod. I almost want a Rod in this deck because I do find I'm discarding a lot of basic energies early on. Sometimes. I kind of want a Rod. Obviously, a 4th path is good. Or a path bump, I should say. Maybe a Crystal Cave is worth considering in here to help against the Lost Box matchup. Because Box of Disaster doesn't activate if your opponent stabilizes you first. So if you drop that Crystal Cave, you have a path bump, but you also have a way out of the Sableye lock from the Box of Disaster. So it might be worth putting that in here as well. Yeah, you could maybe even cut an Arceus V. I know it sounds weird. You might be able to cut an Arceus V, even a Goodra V, possible to cut. I think Crystal Cave is a very important card to have in this deck. I think I'm going to put that in. You could even maybe cut a V-Guard. That's also possible. You have a lot of energy in this deck. You usually aren't going to need 3 V-Guards. You're usually only going to use 2. So again, it's all resource management, right? It's kind of what you feel comfortable with, what you find you're getting rid of the most. But I'm really content with how this deck is running. So thank you all so much for watching. Like the video if you enjoyed, and comment down below what do you think of Arceus Goodra Hammers. And yeah, what do you like about it? What do you dislike? What do you keep? What would you change? And subscribe to the channel because I'm posting multiple Pokemon trading card game videos every single week here on the Hitmonchanting channel. And with all said and done, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, Hitmonchanting out.